Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. And don't forget to hit that bell. Stay alert when we release new videos. Well, today a storm is starting to roll in, but we have a few things that we need to get set up by the end of the day today. We've got baby chicks coming today or tomorrow. They should be arriving at our local post office here any day now, and we have to get the brooder set up, so we got to get that back out of the barn, set it up inside of the chicken coop. And we also have baby pigs coming this week, so I have to get back over to the pig paddocks. We've got to get the hot wire ran all the way around in paddock 1, make sure that's all set up, and just clean up the pig paddock or the pig pen itself, and make sure the bedding's good and everything's ready to go for the arrival of the baby pigs. So baby pigs, baby chickens, some work to do, and yet we are fighting this storm rolling in, and hopefully we can make it and get the stuff done before we get dumped on here. Right now, we just came down to the chickens. Jerry let the chickens out so they can get their free ranging done before the storm gets here. Silver's over here dancing with the girls, and Copper hasn't caught him yet, but Copper's all the way over there on the far end. He's right over there. And Silver's over here by these tires. If Silver starts dancing with the ladies here, Copper will catch on to him and chase him around. Let's get the brooder and we'll get that set up. And then once we're done with that, we'll get up there and get the pig paddocks, or at least the pig paddock #1 set up. Oh, and as we're working on our basement inside, all the rubble that they're breaking up from the cement, the concrete on the ground that they had to put the trough system in, all that loose concrete pieces, they usually just haul off. They did ask if I wanted them or needed them, and so I just grabbed them and I'm dumping them over here at the pond area, because I can use it for some reinforcement up on the ledge here to eliminate some of the wash off on the side of the road here, and we don't want the erosion to take place. So I'm going to take all those pieces eventually and we'll just clean up this embankment and get them all put up over there. Here's our brooder, and for those that may not have seen some of our previous chicken videos, this was a leftover watering trough, that livestock trough that was left here when we moved into the property. So I just repurposed that and put some chicken wire on top with some screws. A little hole right here is for the heat lamp, can get raised or lowered down in there closer if we need be. And then we usually just have this one side that we pull with the screws to keep it in there, and then fold this back to get in and out of it. So it's just a makeshift brooder that we have. It works for us. Now it's not going to house a whole bunch of chicks. We have 20 coming, and that's going to be fine for that. But if you have any more, 30 plus more chicks, we'll probably have to build a brooder house eventually. But for right now, for the size that we need it for, it'll be fine. I probably don't have to clean this as far as spraying it out. It don't look like it's too bad. There's no nastiness all around, just a little bit of debris. So I'm just going to dump that out. And we'll call that good enough. So I'm just going to take this, we're going to head back to the chicken coop, and we'll get the setup in there. Alright, let's get some of the stuff out of the way. We got to make room here, get these bags out of the way, and we're going to put the brooder right up in this corner where the power outlet is. And we do have some pine shavings that we can use to put in the brooder once we get it in. We usually put that in there. It's kind of in the way a little bit here, but this is the best spot we have it, because we can close the door on the chicken coop and keep them safe at night. We're gonna just put this in here. The heat lamp's already up. We'll lower that down and it aligns for the hole that's here. Before we do the light and all that, we need to get some of the pine shavings put in here and get that all settled. Then we'll have to get the water and the feeder put in there. But Jerry needs a scratch here. I'm just going to take some of these pine shavings, we're just going to dump it in here. Just going to break up these clumps a little bit here. some people might ask, there's a couple different types of these pine shavings. These are the little bit bigger pieces. These are the flakes. So when you can get them in the flakes, or you can get it in more of a ground up powdery kind of, it's real fine. These flakes are probably better off for little chicks because they don't eat them and ingest them as much. If you get the real fine powder that's in there, the chicks will peck at it and will eat all that and then ingest a lot of that, and that's not good for them. So that's why we go with the big flakes. Now we've got the flakes that are in there, they're all taken care of. I'm just gonna lower this heat lamp down. And we'll get that down. One more. There. See, by hanging it right there, that goes right down, and now it's inside of here. Because when the chicks are real young, a few days old, they like to stay real warm. So what we'll do is, as the chicks are in here, we'll keep an eye on them. And if they start huddling underneath the light, then that means that they're cold. They want more light. But in this case, it's pretty low. We'll have to watch, because what happens is if it's too hot, they're gonna avoid the light. They're gonna stay outside of it. So if they're not going underneath it, then we know to raise it up 1 or 2 notches and just keep an eye on it. But for right now, I'm just gonna leave it right there. All the bedding's in there. The last thing we need to do for the chicks is get the starter feeder and water on standby. I'm not gonna put any water or feed in it now until I get word that the chicks are here, because if they're not here for a day or two, I don't want it just sitting in here and getting stagnant. They'll spend the first several weeks out here in the brooder. Once they get big enough and start feathering out, they're gonna get moved out into the chicken tractor, and they're gonna be out on pasture here. And we're gonna move them around. We'll have a Premier 1 fence, electric netting fence that goes around them to keep them safe from predators. And we'll keep them moved once or twice a day so they have fresh grass, bugs, and all the nutrients out there to free range. All right, let's go get these feeder and waters put back down in the chicken coop here. Here we go. We've got the water and the feeder sitting in here. What we like to do is we like to take the water and feeder and put them up on a board so they're not wobbly. Gives them a little bit more stability in there on the pine shavings. Then we also like to put another board or 2 in there for like a perch purposes. Although they're little chicks, they're not going to be perching per se like the big chickens do in the chicken coop. It gives them something to get up on and off of them, the pine shavings. So this is the way we typically do it. You know, other people have their ways. This is just the way we do it with this brooder setup that we have here on our farm. We'll eventually have something bigger, but that's how it is for now. So now we're ready to go for the chicks. When they get here, now we just got to go make sure the pig paddock is set up and ready for the little pigs when they get here later this week. Hopefully we can beat the weather and not get soaked. Let's go get that wire ran. We got most of the junk picked up here too. Just a couple big pieces left. But most of that junk that was up here in the pile, we got taken and thrown in the big dumpster that we have rented right now. All right, back up the pig stall. What we just need to do now is get this pinned, this chicken wire here pinned so they can't get into that old paddock, and then get the hot wire that runs all the way around the edge, get that ran back up this side into the barn so that we have a hot wire all the way around this paddock. And again, that's all temporary until we get the rest of the paddock systems built out, and then we can transfer the electric between the different paddocks if we need be. So what I did is I went around on these areas where there's just chicken wire. I put a couple extra of these white insulated posts in order to guide the wire all the way around. And I ran it down along this side over by the water, down that edge. And again, it was already going around this run. I ran it back up, again adding some additional white posts in there to keep the chicken wire from shorting out the wire with the wind. And that runs all the way up, comes all the way down, all the way up and ties back to the barn right here. And so that gives us a hot wire all the way around the pig paddock that is currently hot. I went and it's patched over into the old paddock that runs around, and where the solar charger is right now, I just left it where it's at since the ground rods and everything's already installed over there. I went ahead and just used that for now just to make this line hot. That's got to get moved because that's out in the pasture where the goats will be. That's eventually going to go on a different area and tie into this grid for the pig paddocks. But for right now, it's good. For 7,000 volts, so it's got a good charge, a good zap to it. Paddock is ready to go. I'm gonna come up here probably later tonight. I'm gonna cut this piece of wood right here, get that out of the way, and get another bale or hay or put in. And then down here is kind of a big hole. I want to fill that in and just make sure, go around the bottom of all the chicken wire and make sure it's all secured down and there's no way the little piglets can escape. Outside of that, it's just a matter of getting the food container up here installed somewhere and getting the watering barrel cleaned out, added an additional nipple, and we're ready for the pigs. So that's good. I just want to at least get the wiring up and put in place so that we can put the pigs in and they won't escape. Let me turn this off real quick. I'll show you guys what I did over here. So this side of the paddock is connected to this paddock one in there. This is the old one. This is where the trailer was backed up when we loaded the pigs. So all I did is I hooked the wire on here and I have it connected to this handle so that I can pull this off and disconnect this handle at any time, and that'll disconnect the power to paddock one over there. All right, Jerry's back with some of the food she picked up here, so we're gonna get that unloaded. Oh, we're loaded down pretty good, huh?
Yeah.
Just trying to stock up here on this new feed supplier while we're getting all the new babies in this week. Cost of this feed is like half the cost of a store-bought that we were getting from Tractor Supply, so we're gonna save a lot of money on feed costs by using this provider. Got all the food organized in here. This is just the best flow of our chicken house for the time being. All right, now I just gotta get up to the barn. We've got the pig and goat feed unload up there. We'll stick this goat feed in here up on a pallet off the ground. I'm hoping nothing gets to it. I've had some old food here that we got last year for goats. Never used it, so we'll probably just junk that or maybe feed it to the pigs or something eventually. It's just been sitting in here too long. But we're just gonna stack up here on this pallet. Okay, got the feed up here, got paddock one ready and got the brooder ready. So now we're ready for the baby pigs and the baby chickens here. All right guys, I just got the call from the post office. Our chicks have arrived. So I gotta get down here, get their water set up as well as their feeder, make sure there's food in that, and then turn on their heat lamp. We're gonna get everything prepped, and then I'm gonna run to the post office and we'll pick up our new chicks. Now these are gonna be our Cornish Cross meat birds that we're gonna be raising out here within the chicken tractor out on pasture. Let's get this brooder set up and go get our chicks. got it set up. We've got the water filled and we've got the feeder filled up with food. The lamp's on. So now we're ready to go. I'm gonna head up to the post office, get the chicks and bring them back here and get them in the brooder. Here they are. It looks like the container got a little damaged, so they kind of had to makeshift the top here. Well, let's take a look, guys. Look at this. There they are. Our baby chicks. All right, let's get them back to the house and get them put in the brooder. What we want to do is we want to take each one of these chicks and we want to just dip their beaks in water so they know where the water source is. So all I'm going to do is come right up in here, take them, dip their beak so they have a little water, and do that for each one of them. As you can see, they're huddling up underneath the light right now to get warm. That's their warmth there. We'll keep an eye on them, you know, check on them periodically throughout the day. Jerry's gonna be down here in a little while to redo the water and stuff anyways. We'll just make sure that they're eating and drinking and still moving around, and right now they look healthy, they look really good. So next thing up is pigs. We need to go get the pigs here a little bit later, and I think we should be getting about 6 of them. We have 3 from one breeder, 3 from another breeder. So 2 different locations. We're gonna go get all 6 of those piglets, hopefully by the end of the day, and get them up in the pig pens. All right, guys, I actually just got back with picking up the pigs. We've got 3 of the piglets. Unfortunately, the other 3 that we were gonna pick up today were unavailable. So we're gonna have to wait a week or 2 and go get those other 3, but just got back with the first 3. They're 8 weeks old right now, so they're little bitties. We're gonna go up to the barn here and get them situated up in the paddocks. What's going on, piggers?
Oh my gosh, that one's so cute.
It'll take them a little while to adjust up here. Of course, once they get in here, they're gonna be very timid for at least the first several days. But they'll slowly grow on you, or grow on us, I should say, and they'll come around. And she actually has her wattle. It's that type of pig. The red wattle has these little, they call them like little tassels, little wattles that hang off. We'll get a better look here in a little bit once we get them out. It'd just be easier to carry them in here in the cage instead of grabbing one by one and having them squealing and throwing a fit. Better go turn the hot wire on real quick. There we go. Don't want them pushing through. They're gonna have to get used to it. Oh, wire works.
Come on this way.
Go. See the little wattle under her neck? They have 2 wattles, 1 on each side. Yep. There they go. Already foraging now. There's a hot wire that goes all the way around, as you see. one's already found it, so hopefully they start getting used to knowing that when they get close to the fence here, that they can't push into it because they're gonna get zapped.
You gotta watch out. Huh? Oh.
Oh, get off the wire.
They're gonna get you. Hi.
All right, we got a bag of some of this new feed for them. We're gonna put it in the gravity feeder here, and hopefully they can find it, have not a problem finding it, but they're already foraging out here in the paddock, eating all the weeds and grasses up that are growing along the fence. So that's a good sign, seeing them forage like that. It's just they gotta get used to the hot wire. You know, once they hit that enough, they'll start recognizing that they can't push up against that. So, awesome, let's get this food in here. There we go, so there's one bag. I don't think, we'll keep an eye. I'm just gonna put one bag in for now. That'll allow them to find it and eat it. I wanna see how far down they eat this before I fill it up too much. A little bit of food in front of it so they got that idea. There we go. We'll close that up for the time being. All right guys, so we're all set up now. We've got the water filled up with the water nipple. We've got the feeder set up. All the food is here. I put a little bit on the ground here just to give them a sign that that's where the feeder is. Right now they're at the bottom of the paddock down there and they're still grazing on the grasses, and we put a handful of feed down there just so they can start picking at that and getting used to it. So we're gonna leave them alone for a little while, let them get acquainted to their new area, their new home, and we'll come check on them a little bit later this evening just to make sure they're good, make sure they find their house all right. Just want to give a huge shout out to my father-in-law. Huge thanks to him. We found these additional 3 piglets about 2.5 hours from us, which is down by him where he's located, and without hesitation he went and picked them up and drove them all the way up here the other day, dropped them off, and we couldn't be more thankful. So now we have all 6 of our piglets for this year. We've got the 3 colored ones, which are Red Wattle, Old Spot, and Hereford mix, and these 3 new ones here, those are all Yorkshire, 100% pure Yorkshire. So we're excited to have Big Red right there, and one of these lucky 3 females will be Big Red's partner, breeding partner. So we're really excited to get that going, and can't wait to see them grow. All right guys, until next time, we'll see you later.